Good evening. Let's get
What's
after
going
this. What do
on?
you say?
Let's do it.
It's a fine day. We got lots of sports news coming out. Lots of news in general, but mostly
That's right.
sports. Heard there's some good golf news going on. What do you know about
Oh
that?
yeah, big week in the golf world. U.S. Open week this year. We got it at Pinehurst, the number two course. This is what I was telling you about a couple weeks ago. So this course, it's designed by Donald Ross. It's in Pinehurst, North Carolina, and they did a huge restoration in 2010, 2011, and basically restored it to the way it used to be. So there's pretty much just fairways like I was telling you, and then instead of rough, there's just sand and a bunch of native plants like wiregrass and stuff. It's a really weird looking course if you look at it, but it's super cool and it's gonna be a huge challenge, especially this week. I'm sure they're gonna have that course dry and playing super fast. It's um it's hosted four previous US Opens in 95, 2005, 2014. I'm sorry, this will be the fourth. In 2014, though, Martin Keimer won, and he finished 9 under, and the closest person to him was 1 under. So everybody except Martin Keimer was pretty much having a lot of trouble with that course.
So,
Um,
sorry, keep going.
yeah, the greens there very challenging. A lot of them have like a dome effect to them, so you're going to see a lot of balls rolling off the green. You're probably going to see a lot of putts starting on the green and ending up off the green. Um, I imagine. I don't know. I'm going to predict the winner's going to be less than 10 under par for the tournament, which I think that's how the U.S. Open should be, in my opinion. Should be the hardest tournament of the year.
So, do you know like what big names are going to be playing in this?
Everybody, dude. You got your LIV guys, all the PGA Tour guys. Now, the U.S. Open is sponsored by the USGA, the United States Golf Association. So um, we will have the live guys in there. We have, of course, the PGA Tour guys, and then there's even some random guys because it's an open tournament. So you can basically anybody can qualify to play in this.
So
Like if you're
realistically, I could go play or no?
uh, technically, I think you have to have a handicap that's below a certain number. I'm not exactly sure what the number is,
Okay.
but anybody that plays in a qualifying round and qualifies for it can play in it.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And this is kind of funny. This guy, I forget the person's name, but this guy just qualified for it because John Rahm dropped out of the tournament because he's got like some foot infection. So this guy that nobody's ever heard of, I'm sure got a call yesterday or today saying, "Hey, you're in the tournament now," and I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing with Jordan Spieth and Hideki Matsuyama. Have to be a pretty crazy phone call from being like, "Damn, I just missed it," to like, "Holy shit, now I'm playing with some pro golfers."
Yeah, here we go. This is the real deal.
Yeah, right.
So, who you got money on? Who's your guy? That's obviously the most important
Ah,
question when it comes to anything.
I'm thinking I like Max Homa. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler. He's a huge favorite. And then you got
pardon
Xander Schauffele.
the interruption. Boy Max there kind of has a bad name, but last name that is. But anyways, besides the
He's
point. Sorry.
his fan club's called the Homosexuals.
We love that. It's all inclusive. Can't cancel us for that. But anyway. But anyways.
But anyway, obviously Scotty Scheffler's a huge favorite. You got your Xander Schauffele's. He won the PGA a few weeks back, so he's been playing really good golf. You got who else? Why can't I think right now? I like
Your mic cut out.
Colin Morikawa. That's who I was thinking.
Okay.
And then Rory McIlroy's actually up there in his odds too. He's one of the favorites.
Yeah, he's a free man now.
But Scotty Scheffler, yeah, right. Scotty Scheffler came off a week last week at the or off a win last week at the Memorial. Obviously, he's been red hot all year.
Yeah, I mean that's our guy. I mean, we love guys
I'm
like
curious to see how he does with this course, though. I'm curious to see how a lot of guys do with this course.
So you were saying this course plays really, really fast. Was this the one that you were saying is either fairway or rough? Like they're
wrong.
Okay.
So there is no rough, basically. It's either fairway. There's two heights of grass on this entire course.
Okay.
And that's the green and fairways.
Gotcha.
Everything else is either like pine straw, so like pine needles, or it's sand and like wire grass or like dune grass kind of stuff
dunes,
like that.
big dune guys. But anyways, yeah, you're right. You did say that. That's my bad. That was my bad. I wasn't paying attention. It's on me. But you did mention that.
All good.
Yeah, I can't imagine it'll be too easy. I can only imagine me playing it. It'd be horrible. I'd probably have a terrible time and give up by the third hole. So yeah, I mean, but these guys are world class. So we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see. I'll probably take a gander on it. Probably see what's up.
Yeah, I agree. You should.
What is, again, this is on me just being a bad sports guy. You know, golf is always it's just something I recently got into. I felt like it was kind of like a rich old guy thing. But is this like TV1 type of thing? Is this going to be on your main channel, like main TV channels, or?
So usually, I don't know if it's with all majors. I want to say usually the first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, will be on like your golf channel. And then once it gets to the weekend, it's on like NBC. So yeah, it is like going to be on your main channel.
So, in the golf world, is this like one of those things? Like, is this like NFL playoffs? Are you getting the boys together, cracking a few cold ones, and kicking back and watching some golf? Is this the kind of thing that like people should be doing, or what?
I wouldn't be opposed to that activity. I usually try to have the boys over for the Masters every year. Crack some beers, throw something on the grill, watch the Masters. But the Masters is my favorite tournament by far, just because of the tradition. Augusta National, you can't beat it. Yeah, and it's first major of the year. So honestly, I've never had pimento cheese.
I think I had a Chick-fil-A one time. It was pretty good.
Really, Chick-fil-A, huh?
Yeah, of all places, good stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it's bad. Pimentos, like a little pepper or something, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And cheese. What's not to like?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just being lactose intolerant.
Hey,
But
I suppose that's a fair point. Touche.
yeah. Anything else on golf? What else we got? Is that pretty much it?
I mean, I think that pretty much covers the basics. Usually the U.S. Open, I think they want the winner to finish right around even par, which hasn't really been the case in recent years, just because people are getting too good for all these courses. But like I said, the last time they played at Pinehurst, this course, besides the guy that won, the next closest people were one under par for the entire tournament. So it was this course was giving everybody a real hard time, and I hope that's the case again. I remember guys in their interviews were like bashing the course, saying that the greens weren't fair and everything. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays this week.
Yeah, sounds exciting. Exciting enough. I mean, if you're talking about how guys are just playing too well, that's kind of boring. Granted, you love to see greatness, but it's got to get pretty boring. I mean, just you need excitement. I guess you need something to like draw your eyes to. Kind of like a. I don't really know if there are nail biters in golf. I don't know because again, I'm not too familiar, but that's the kind of thing that people want.
Oh yeah, it's always it's always awesome when it comes down to a playoff and in a major tournament.
What's a playoff like in golf?
So
What does that look like?
a playoff is if at the end of say the end of regulation, we'll call it after the 72 holes are up, um, and two guys at the top are tied, or it could be three guys, four guys, however many people are tied at the top. Um, they'll all go. I want to say it's different. It just depends on what course it's being held at, but usually they go back to 18 and play that hole. And if nobody comes out on top, then they'll go back to 17, play that hole, and so on and so forth.
So it's almost kind of like a sudden death thing. So say there is three
Exactly.
guys. If three guys say they're all tired or whatever, they go to hole 18. Only two of them say both make par. The one guy is one over. He's out. It's just then hole 17 for the next two guys. That's how it goes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I guess that'd get pretty exciting actually. I'd imagine that'd be
Yeah,
pretty
and
good because
then you drain a long birdie putt, and the crowd goes wild, and
yeah,
you're the goddamn champion.
yeah, in your bag, in your absolute bag. Then I'd imagine, I gotta imagine there's some good money.
Yeah, I would say so.
What are you gulping?
This is just the usual PBR.
Nice, nice, nice. Good
You
stuff.
sipping anything?
Of course. Um, got some BT again, because I'm basic. I'm a normie when it comes to this, so I mean it's good though. So can't complain about it. Had some BT at your house over the weekend. It was just as good there, and a little snifter glass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to stick to your regulars.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I always say.
Fair enough. Amen.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Absolutely. So,
You got any football for us?
absolutely. I've always got football. Oh my God. Can't get enough football. But anyways, we'll start off with, the hometown team, our fan favorite team. We love them around here. We'll talk about Bears adding more guys to the locker room that I think is in a good way. He's old. I mean, really old. He's been in the league for 19 years. In my opinion, one of the best tight ends to do it. I mean, some people might disagree. I know someone who might disagree just because for some reason it just seems like he likes to contradict me. But nevertheless, um, Mercedes Lewis, again, he's great. He was 18 years old when Rome Odunze was born. Let's just put that in perspective. I mean, the dude's old. He's been in the league since '06. He's been in the league since I was 7. I'm 25 now. So again, just putting things in perspective for you. I mean, I'm not gonna say that he's like this phenomenal, great tight end, gonna jump up and down. He's no Gronk. He's no Gonzalez. He's no Kelsey. He's no Edwards, Kittle. Again, just naming off good tight ends. But he's been consistent. He's been there. I mean, his averages are very, very good. Granted, he's never had really like a super, super high receiving year, except for in 2010 when he had 700, and that was his best year by far. I mean, 58 receptions, 700 yards, 10 tutties, but and a 12.1 average, so pretty good. But again, this is the kind of guy that I feel like you want in your locker room. He's going to help those rookies out, especially his quarterback, because again, he's seen it all at this point pretty much. I mean, you can't be around the league this long and really just not not be knowledgeable of the game itself. So, I'm excited. I think it's a good thing. It's going to help Caleb Williams progress. And it's a 1 year deal. He was with the Bears last year as well. He really didn't do much. He had one touchdown, but again, now he's a little more familiar with the organization, with how things go, how this offense is ran, which I actually take a step back on that because this is a new offensive coordinator. So, but again, he knows how things go around in Hallis Hall and all that. But talking about his quarterback, Caleb Williams, there's a lot going on with Caleb Williams right now in training camp that people are going to just thrive on because of the fact that, you know, some of it's good that's coming out, some of it's not so good. I'm not really nervous.
All right.
People are gonna ask me. They're gonna ask if I'm worried. They're gonna talk their shit or whatever, but that's fine. Let them. This is what this is for. Like, we are still 3 months away from kickoff. I'm not really scared of what could potentially happen yet. These are. I want this to happen now, rather than week one when it actually comes. And again, he's facing a good defense, and guys on defense said they are coming out saying that they're being as hard as they possibly can on this guy. And that's personally what I want to hear. Like I want to hear he's obviously confident, very confident. He's argu- arguably one of like the highest rated prospect QB prospects to come out, and at least in my like lifetime remembrance that I can remember like QB prospects. So again, not really nervous at all. But not even just the training camp stuff. There's been other stuff going on in like just the Caleb Williams world itself. Overall, good guy, from what I'm seeing. Me myself, I've questioned his character and how he would be, but there was a fan, Z Young fan, that wanted to get his jersey on draft night, and Fanatics had messed it up. He ended up not was not able to get it. So Caleb Williams reached out to this fan and said, "I will personally, I will get you a jersey, and I'll bring you out to a game. So free tickets to a game to come see him." I mean, that's good stuff, man. That's my QB right there. You love to see that. And again,
Yeah.
it's just building his repertoire with the fan base. I mean, again, I was a non-believer when everything happened with Fields, when everything like with that whole situation. I was like a non-believer. I'm like, no, I don't want this guy. But it's kind of hard to not believe anymore. I'm like a little like I got my toes off of the train. We're almost fully on the train, but I'm really really close. Starting to pick that foot up to be fully on board. Really really close. And
Hell yeah.
another thing he's doing to build like respect in the fan base is this guy was seen at a bar in Chicago with Rome Odunze chanting "Green Bay sucks" with the fans. Dude, how can you not love that? How can
Yeah,
you
you
not
gotta
love
love
that?
that.
Gotta love
That's our
that.
quarterback.
That is our quarterback right there. No matter what he
So
does at this point,
take a step back. Would you say? Sorry, I backtrack, but would you say Mercedes Lewis is gonna be playing much this season,
no,
or is he gonna be more of a locker room kind of
no,
effect?
he's definitely there for the locker room. I mean, the guy's 40 years old.
Fair.
He's he's really just like a locker room guy. He's a veteran who's gonna show these rookies not even just rookies, but even like the younger guys. I mean, Cole Kmet's still relatively new to the league. He's 3, 4 years. Big Cole Kmet guy, by the way. But anyways, he's just gonna, he's really just guidance for these guys. He knows he's at the end of his rope. He's not really, can't do much anymore. Not saying that he's not physically able to, but I mean, he's not gonna play as well as a guy in his early 20s. He's 40. I mean, it's just not.
He's kind of like a backup bench coach, so to say.
Pretty much. That's exactly what they're bringing him in for. Like, exactly. So,
I like it.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a good move by the organization. I like that a lot. I think that's pretty smart. So I'm pretty excited about that. Again, like when I saw that they re-signed him, he's also a very smart guy, been known, very knowledgeable, like we said before. Getting back to our QB though, he's so obviously QBs around the league they work out together. So do like other like receivers and QBs. They become friends, they build relationships, and they end up like working out together, training together during the off season. Um, Caleb Williams and Anthony Richardson are actually training together, or will be.
Really?
Yeah. Um, so pretty excited about that, just because of like a certain someone I know. Like he really can't say anything. Um, we won't call him out.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that to him. But hey, I mean, his quarterback's learning from the best, supposedly. So you're welcome. You know who you are, and all other Colts fans, you're welcome. That you get to your quarterback gets to be graced in the presence of Sir Caleb and gets to learn from him. So
On
yeah,
the ropes.
I just saw that and I thought that was pretty funny. I liked that a lot. It also,
Speaking of Anthony, speaking of Anthony Richardson, that boy got some ink.
yeah, he got some ink. He definitely did. Um, yeah, I was gonna try to avoid that just because I know that certain someone listens to the pod or has listened to it before, but that's okay. We can bring it up. I'm not really gonna say anything bad. So, other than the fact that let's just between you and I right here, is it borderline kind of corny? Borderline kind of like, does this guy got a gambling problem? I mean, it looks
It's a
good.
little tacky. I mean, I'm not a huge tattoo guy myself, but to each their own.
Yeah, I mean,
I
hey,
don't know why you need to get your own name on your back though. It's like kind of weird.
I mean, you could just be playing like paying respects to your family, to your roots, and I like that. Like, again, don't get me wrong, this looks amazing. Like it looks really, really good, really, really detailed. But there's some things on it that I just don't understand. But then again, that's just me having to learn more about Anthony Richardson and his character and like the type of guy he is. I just keep like staring at the right side and looking at the wad of cash, the playing cards, and the roulette table and the dice. I'm just again, is he a gambler? Like
Maybe it's like a metaphor. He's saying that his uh
he has
his
a
entire
jackpot?
football career has been a gamble. That
Yeah.
could be too, or he's just been a gamble and he's been reaping the benefits.
I mean, hey, again, you love to see it. I mean, think about it like any guy that really makes it to the league, these guys work their asses off their entire lives to get to this point, and they do it. But especially a guy like Anthony Richardson, I mean, he really wasn't. I'll say his stats weren't really great before he got into the league, you know. So, but he's a starting quarterback on an NFL franchise, so that says something. That's great. He got first round draft pick money, so he's pretty good on that. So again, mad
Absolutely.
respect. Tattoo looks good. Just kind of borderline corny in my opinion. But this seems to be a common theme
Anyway,
in a lot of athletes nowadays.
yeah, that's fair. You don't see too many golfers getting tatted up though.
No, I mean, hey, maybe you can make it big in golfing and you can start a trend. That'd be sick. Maybe
That would be crazy.
modernize golf a little bit.
Just imagine like a player as dominant as Scotty Scheffler just
Looks like
fucking getting
look,
full sleeves.
yeah, looks like Post Malone, you know.
That'd be crazy. A face tat,
Yeah.
yes. Sells out, gets Titleist across his forehead.
Yeah, he should get like a teardrop he's been in jail before, so he should get a teardrop.
Dude, that's fair. He is fucking just hardened.
Yeah, tough guy. He's tough. One thing I look at though when it comes to like athletes now that are coming up, and again, I'm not saying I'm old at all, but isn't it kind of weird to see like these guys like coming into the league younger than you?
Yes, that is very weird.
Because I'm just at that point in my
Uh,
life like where I'm not realizing like, wow, these people are actually younger than me. Because before I'm like, oh, all these guys in the league, they're way older than me. But yeah,
I'm trying to think of the first time I ever felt like that. It was with some pitcher. I can't remember who it was.
I mean, I just look like the first time it happened to me was like when Juju Smith-Schuster first came to the NFL. He was 19, 20 years old. So he was the same age as me at that time. I'm like, oh God, that's so weird. Like I'm sitting here like in college and this guy's playing in the NFL.
Yeah, I know, right? I
But
can't remember what pitcher it was.
do you remember the team?
Somebody. Maybe I might have been watching old Kerry Wood, um, like highlights from when he was like, I don't know, very young, like his rookie season or something.
Okay.
And I was the same age as him at that point, and I was like, damn, this dude's just throwing immaculate pitches, and I'm, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, with me now, like I'm looking, I'm like Caleb Williams is 22, Justin Fields same age as me. So that's when I was really starting to get hit with like the, oh my God, like my life has moved a lot faster than I expected. It's weird. It's just weird because, again, I look at these guys and to me, I'm like, oh yeah, if you're a professional athlete, like you're a grown ass man. I'm like, oh, these guys are younger than me. That's so weird. Like, again, not saying I'm
Yeah,
old
it's
because I'm
definitely a
not,
weird feeling. Definitely a weird feeling.
but I mean, it's gonna happen eventually, right? Maybe by the time
Yeah,
I'm
well,
75, some 22-year-old can win the Bears a Super Bowl. So who knows?
maybe this is the year.
Potentially. I mean, there have been reports coming out that, Caleb Williams could definitely take the Bears to a Super Bowl in his first year. And when I say to that, I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. That is not what I'm aiming for. That's not what I'm hoping for. I mean, yeah, cool. Who doesn't want a Super Bowl? But I feel like that's kind of unrealistic. And that's just like really, really high expectations for someone we haven't even seen play a single snap yet. Personally, for me, 9 wins, 10 wins, I'm doing backflips, dude. I'm doing backflips. That would be awesome. I'd be so happy. I'm like, this is such a major improvement and competence out of my QB. That's all I want.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in their right mind in the Bears organization should be even thinking about a Super Bowl this year.
No, I mean,
That's
obviously,
setting the bar too high.
yeah. I mean, obviously, these guys aren't going out there and playing just to play. The end goal is to win a Super Bowl, but you got to know who you are. I mean, you got to be realistic to a certain point.
Right. Caleb Williams can survive this year. They can get some wins. And then next year they can build up the O line and make it an actual possibility, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely excited for the future. But again, because, I mean, hope is one hell of a drug. And Caleb Williams is bringing the organization hope, but I also had a lot of hope when they drafted Fields number 11 overall. I was very ecstatic about that too. And obviously we see how that turned out. Still
Yeah,
not
full of
over it.
hope when they full of hope when they drafted Trubisky.
I mean, with that one, I mean they needed like a 12-foot ladder. They were reaching so high with that one. Because as much as I loved Mitch, he wasn't he wasn't a Super Bowl winning QB. There are very few Super Bowl winning QBs out there. And I'm sorry, but I just don't think Mitch is that guy. Like he was never that guy. Potentially, maybe could have went to the NFC Championship in 18, but I don't think we're making it to the Super Bowl or winning it in that matter.
Yeah.
But again, that's in the past. We got our eyes pointing forward. We got LGBTQ1, QB1 leading the way. And he's gonna do it for us. He's gonna do it. I just have a feeling. I can feel it down in my plums.
Starting to turn a bluish hue.
In other Chicago sports news, the White Sox hit their 50th loss last night. They got
That is something.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing. All of my teams are pretty bad. At this point, I'm really just starting to think of like, do I like making myself miserable? Like, why do I do this to myself? Why do I continue to root for these teams? Granted, I do have quite the strong boycott going on against the White Sox. Jerry Reinsdorf specifically. I went to one Sox game this year. I will admit that, but it was for a giveaway. But I wasn't happy. I mean, I paid for the beer and drank it, but I wasn't happy to be there at all.
What were they giving away?
Crew necks. It was a crew neck sponsored by Miller Lite. It was a nice crew neck. It was like a throwback. I think it was like a 1920 design or something like that. It was really nice. I ended up giving the crew neck away too. Um, but I got a free bottle of whiskey out of it for the crew neck in exchange.
Hey, that sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, I got a $50 bottle for a $13 ticket. So, yeah, up yours, Reinsdorf. I made money on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Um, yeah, but there's really not much going on in this organization. I mean, Drew Thorpe just got called up. I don't know how I feel about it. He's one of the prospects that we got in the Dylan Cease trade from the Padres. He's supposed to be really good, but my problem is he completely skipped AAA. They called him up, completely skipped AAA, and
Hmm.
I don't like that at all, personally, at all.
Yeah,
Granted,
I feel like you got to work your way up,
yeah, dude. I mean, like you can't just
especially as
go
a
from
pitcher.
you can't go from Double A to the bigs. I don't care how good you're throwing. It just I don't like that at all. He so he does have a very good record in Double A, but again, we'll go over his record first. We'll go over his stats. People want stats. So his win loss was 7-1, 1.35 ERA, really really good. Obviously, that's phenomenal. Started 11 games, 60 innings pitched, 56 strikeouts, .87 WHIP. Really good. Okay, really really good. But again, I don't know how I feel about the guy completely skipping AAA. Going back to that, that is just to me that's a problem. He's probably going to get mashed. You're going to absolutely destroy this guy's confidence. First game started, which is actually, I believe, already started. As we're talking, it started about 10 minutes ago. But we'll see. He's 23 years old, out of Utah, 6'4", 212. Big guy. Decent sized guy.
Hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I don't really like to get too excited about players on the White Sox anymore, especially if they're good, because they just get dealt off. Just like Luis Robert, Lou Bob. They're rumored that they want to trade him. So again, MVP caliber guy when he's playing his best and healthy, and we're gonna get rid of him for prospects. Yippee! Honestly, there's nothing more in sports that I probably hate than the MLB farm system. I think the MLB farm system, yes, it's good, but it's also kind of garbage in my opinion because of the fact you have so many guys in the minors and how many of them actually make it up to the show. And you're trading starting big leaguers for these prospects. And will they ever actually do anything? Who knows? It's a gamble. You're giving away starters and taking a gamble. Granted, you're going to have to hit eventually because the theory of endless possibilities. But again, I don't think it's smart. But again, I'm also not a GM in the MLB or an owner. So who am I to actually say anything? And who cares about my opinion?
Yeah, it's crazy how many, especially pitchers, get drafted
Yeah.
and just like in hopes that they can continue to improve their own game without getting hurt. Like I gotta think there's a crazy number of pitchers who got drafted and then blew out their shoulder and fucking never threw again, or
Yeah.
they're just playing semi-pro somewhere, washed up, fucking playing in the beer leagues.
Love a good beer league. Can't hate on a beer league. But I agree. But then you have guys that are sitting out. They're out of the league. Like, for example, one of my personal favorites, Trevor Bauer. I mean, at this point, the MLB is just like, they have it out for him. They just don't want him back in the MLB. I don't know why. It was proven that he was basically set up, and this guy was killing it in Japan. He's no longer in Japan. He's playing in the Mexico League now, the second best league. He's killing it there. Why is this guy not on a big league, MLB big league starting rotation? This is the kind of guy that the White Sox could like sign for like a league minimum. He just probably just wants so badly just to be back in the MLB. Why are teams that are pitcher needy not picking this guy up? Like, what is the problem? I just, again, this brings me back to the fact that it has to just be ownership and around the league. Just have it out for this guy. Like, there's no other reason that I can possibly
That
that it
does
makes
seem
sense to
like,
me.
yeah, that definitely seems like the most logical explanation because unless it's like, I don't know, something, yeah, I really don't know. Unless the MLB has it out, like, yeah, it's just fucking weird.
Yeah, it's really, really stupid. Because again, I mean, yeah, when the Chargers first came out, they weren't. It wasn't a good look. I'm not gonna say it was a good look at all. But again, they all got dropped. He was found out guilty. Found out that it wasn't like he was again set up. Going back to what I originally said. At this point, it's personal. Apparently, I don't know. I don't get it. But again, it's above me. So that's all I got on that. Other than the fact that I think your Cubbies are a little falling a little flat on their face there.
Were they supposed to be like a threat this year?
They were. Your bullpen's just really abysmal.
Yeah, that sounds like my Cubs. Tail is old as time.
Yeah, I mean we can go back to like a week and a half ago. We had the Crosstown Cup between the Sox and the Cubs, and that was just really pathetic. It was just really pathetic baseball. I mean, realistically, you probably could have put like St. Rita's baseball team out there, and they're probably winning over either one of them. They looked horrible. But that's okay. I could sit here and judge these big leaguers for playing poorly, and they can make their millions. Why I sit here and talk on a podcast that has like 4 viewers.
Yeah, I
But
mean, yeah, you're allowed to talk shit
yeah, I definitely can. Because you want to know why? Every time I go to a game, every time I buy a
because you're a
piece of
fan.
merchandise, yeah, I'm putting money towards that organization. So I could be as angry as I want. Going on Twitter every NFL season. I'm bitching up a storm about the Bears. I'm tweeting at Bears PR. I'm tweeting at the Bears official page, tweeting at players. Yeah, I can be angry. And sometimes, do I feel bad because I feel like I'm a little harsh? Yeah, because you know what? Take a step back. There are people too, but I'm not getting paid $5 million to catch a football. You are. So again, at some point, I understand. I understand. It's not always as easy as it looks. The ball's getting thrown very hard. Whatever. But again, that's your job. So
Yeah.
it comes to a point where you gotta do it.
And when you're in the public eye, you're kind of signing up for hate mail.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna get it. Yeah, you're going to. I mean, we've seen countless times where fan pages have come out and maybe taken it a little over the top when it comes to messaging players. I mean, especially like fantasy fantasy teams. I've seen
Yeah, I
a few
could
a few
definitely.
tweets. That's all right. We won't talk about that because we probably can't talk about that, but that's okay. It's all right. Nevertheless, one thing I did want to touch on today that I thought would be pretty interesting to do is I want to talk about NFL QBs, segueing back to base or football. I kind of want to rank them. Tell me what you think. I mean,
Okay.
if you're up for it,
Yeah, we could do that.
alrighty. So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to go over PFFs, like their ranking and judge that? Do you want to go like I can rank them off and basically, I mean, because if I rank them off, I'm probably going to make a lot of people angry. But that's okay. I'm not upset about that. I don't mind making people angry. It's all in good fun. In the end, it doesn't matter. It's just sports. Don't matter.
You rank them however you see fit.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna go from you want to start from 1? You want to start from 32?
Well, tell me how we're doing this. Are we going PFF or your rankings?
We'll go my rankings. We go my rankings.
Uh, Start with 32.
Okay. I'm gonna go parallel off PFF's rankings, and then I'm like gonna make my opinion off of if I agree with theirs or not. I'll kind of do it that way, so we can have an idea of what they think as well.
I
Because
like that.
these are supposed to be experts, but I think I have a pretty good eye. Anyways, so at 32, you have Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix. They're not really sure who's gonna start over there in Denver. I
Mm.
110% agree that the Denver Broncos have the worst QB room in all of NFL. That is horrible. I've never ever been a fan of Bo Nix. Jarrett Stidham has done absolutely nothing in the NFL. He has one season where he's earned a passing grade above 56. That's terrible. That's horrible. So, anyways, I'll agree with that. 32, we got Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix, Denver Broncos QBs. 31, I'll also agree with this. Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold really hasn't done much at all. Like anything in his NFL career. He was supposed to be the saving grace for the Jets, and obviously we see how that turned out. JJ McCarthy, I'm also not impressed by at all. I think that he entered the league too early from a player standpoint, but from a business standpoint, he did it at the perfect time. He's coming off winning a national championship in college, so his stock is as high as it's probably ever going to be. But again, 31, Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings. I'll agree. And then we have 30, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. Again, not sure which one's going to start. Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know that I agree with that one. I think I'm ranking them a little higher just because of the fact that I've seen what Gardner Minshew can do. Granted, he's a backup. Gardner Minshew is not a starter in the NFL, but he's a great backup. He's probably not going to lose you games, but he's probably not going to win blowouts either.
Uncle Rico, baby.
Yeah, dude, great stash. That guy definitely fucks. I mean, again, if like there's guys on this earth that I would like to drink with, he's probably on that list. I'd like to just have a beer with him. So, anyways, don't agree with that. I'm probably putting Las Vegas Raiders at. I'll put them at 26 because I think at number 30, who is at number 29 according to PFF, is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones' cheeks. That guy's absolute buns. He is probably again. He got paid. He did get he got his bag, but he absolutely fleeced the Giants organization. There is no reason why this guy should still be starting for them. Absolute buns, and they're riding out with this guy. I mean, they are still. This is their QB1. So, mistake. Daniel Jones putting him at 30. According to PFF, Will Levis is 28. I think that's fair. I'll put Will Levis at 28. I He looked good. He had flashes of goodness, if we could say, last season. And obviously after recent social media craze involving Will Levis, it's kind of earned some respect. Dude's got a cannon. I mean, like he said. So, 28, Will Levis. Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders first round pick. He's the number 2 overall. I don't know that he'll translate that well. I'll probably put him at 27. That's pretty fair. We'll see what happens. 26, Jacoby Brissett, Drake May. The Patriots QBs. Drake May, number 3 overall pick in this year's draft. I don't think Drake May's going to do much. But that's again because
Do you
I
think
have
he's gonna be? Do you think he's gonna be a starter,
Drake May.
or is he gonna be backup, kind of learning the ropes?
I think he should definitely sit because especially the things that I've seen coming out of the Patriots training camp, he's been struggling a lot. So he should definitely sit behind Brissett, a guy who's been around the league, started his career with the Patriots, and I think Jacoby Brissett's not that bad of a quarterback. So I think he should definitely sit, depending on how things are going, until mid-season, and then throw him out there, see what he can do. So 26, I'll agree with that. 25, Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers. I'll agree with that as well. 100%. Bryce Young, I feel, again, never a Bryce Young fan, but I feel that he really couldn't have been gauged that well just because of the fact how bad the Panthers were last season. And they're not looking too good this season. But we love the Panthers because of what they've done for our Chicago Bears organization. Love that. 24, Anthony Richardson, Indianapolis Colts. I'd probably put Anthony Richardson at like 93 if I could. But it's a joke, by the way. Wouldn't do that. Obviously, he's not that bad. But anyways, yeah, I'd say 24 is pretty fair just because also the fact that you really can't judge Anthony Richardson because his season was shortened immensely last season because of injury. So, yeah, 24 is fair. I mean, he did look pretty good. Um, he's a running style QB. I don't care what anyone says. I've heard someone talk shit to me saying that, making fun of my QB last season because he was a running style QB. Most QBs nowadays are running style, like run first. I wouldn't say run first. They can run. They're mobile. Anthony Richardson is definitely one of those guys. So yeah, whatever. 23, Deshaun Watson, Cleveland Browns. Not a guy. Not a nice guy. Not a nice guy. 23. It's fair. It is fair though. He just looked like absolute buns ever since he got to Cleveland. Don't know if that he just doesn't care. He's got his bag. So what does he need to care for? Don't know. 22, Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh Steelers. That's fair. Russ is at the tail end of his career. Hopefully, gets replaced as QB1 by Justin Fields. That would be nice to see. But again, we'll see. 21, Derek Carr. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, I don't know. I like Derek Carr. I've liked him ever since he's been with the Raiders. I'd probably put Derek Carr top 20. So I guess 21's close enough.
You ever get lost in his eyes?
He's got nice eyes with the eyeliner, or it looks like he has eyeliner on at least.
It definitely does. There's something. I don't know. There's something.
Maybe he's just like a big pop punk guy.
I could see it.
Okay, PFF's drunk. Number 20, Baker Mayfield. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Baker Mayfield, okay, yes, he did have some turnovers, but I feel Baker Mayfield's a dude. He's a dude, 100%. I like Baker. I always have. I think the Browns did him dirty. They're a bunch of bozos because now look at the situation that they're in. They're in a worse situation than they were when they had Baker. But whatever. We don't have to touch on that. Go to the next one. Number 19. Yours truly, Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears. I don't know how I feel about that. He's a rookie, so putting him in the top 20 is a little iffy. I'd honestly move Baker Mayfield up one and Derek Carr. So Derek Carr at 20, Baker at 19, and have Caleb Williams at 21. I think that would be more fair. Whatever. Number 18, Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks. I'm not really a big fan of Geno. Never really have been. Geno Smith, that is. Geno Smith. All right. Yeah, not that big of a fan. Always thought he was kind of buns. But the Seattle Seahawks, they do good for him. We'll see how it works with the new coordinator. Who knows? Number 17, Kyler Murray. That's very fair. A lot of people hate on Kyler Murray. I think he's a fine quarterback, and he's only going to improve with Marvin Harrison. So yeah, I'll agree with that too. Number 16, Jared Goff. I don't know about that at all. I think Jared Goff is a far better QB than 16th overall. I'd put him over Tua, who's at 14. So we'll swap those places right now. Tua really hasn't impressed me in the postseason. That is, obviously the Dolphins put 72 or whatever, 70 something on a team last year, so that says something. But Tua's also got two of the arguably two of the best wide receivers in the league. Number 15, Kirk Cousins. That's fine. That's fair. Kirk has always been kind of, I'll say, a little underrated. That also just could be because in my eyes I've always kind of hated Kirk Cousins. Gotta love the chain though and the grills. That's tough. Big Kirko.
Kirk Cousins has chains and grills.
Yeah. Yeah, look up a
Whoa.
picture of Kirk Cousins' grills. They're pretty tough.
So I got a question here.
Yeah, sure, sure.
From what I'm seeing, it basically looks like anybody with experience in the NFL gets precedence over, say, your newcomers, which I mean is totally fair. But is that basically what's going on here?
I mean, yes and no. Because if we go back to even Daniel Jones is at 29. He's been in the league for 6, 7 years now.
That guy's just dog water, apparently.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's been in the league for 5, 6 years now. Russell Wilson's been in the league since 2013. Derek Carr's been in the league since I think around the same time. But these are also guys that are kind of slept on, are also just not that good. But yeah, a lot of the younger guys are definitely higher up. I mean, 13, Brock Purdy. I'd say that's fair, just based off of performance. But Brock Purdy, I feel, is also, he's kind of just a product of his surroundings. I mean, he's got the best running back in the league behind him. He's got Debo. Well, this was last season, because again, we don't know what's going to happen. He's got Debo, Juwan Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. That is a offense of
That,
world beaters,
yeah.
and his defense is very good. So again, just a product of his situation. Okay, this one I really don't agree with either. I'd probably put him a little lower. Trevor Lawrence
I
at,
was thinking the same thing.
at number 12. That's granted, Trevor Lawrence has looked good in years past, but last season, coming off of injury, he really doesn't. I wasn't impressed. Trevor Lawrence, I'm still like the jury's still out with that guy. If he's gonna be, if he's elite, or if he's kind of mid. But again, jury's still out. Number 11, Jordan Love. Now this is the guy I'd put at 93 if I could. It's hard to not look good when you play the Bears twice a year, so they're obviously helping you stat pad. Whatever, guy's a bum. Whatever. Number 10, CJ Stroud. Definitely. I don't know if I'd put him number in top 10. Probably put him top 15. But I guess at that point, with the way I've lined out other QBs on this list, number 10 is probably pretty fair. He definitely made a case for being a top 10 QB in the league last season. That team was supposed to be nothing. That's still supposed to be rebuilding, and they lit it up. Nevertheless, number 9, Jalen Hurts. That's fair. I think Jalen Hurts is a good QB, but he still has things that he's gonna kind of shoot himself in the foot with. So that's fair. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets. I think this is glazing at this point with Aaron Rodgers. Granted, what Aaron Rodgers has done, he's also in his early 40s. So it's kind of hard to say that he's still a top 10 QB in the league. Besides, okay, I guess I'll kind of backpedal on that. Aaron Rodgers did win the MVP 2 years ago. But based off last
Hey,
season, I don't know that you can put him at number 8.
yeah, I kind of agree with that. For CJ Stroud, did you say you thought he should have been higher up?
No, I said maybe top 15, but 10 is it's fair. It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. Number 7, Matt Stafford. Yeah, he's still playing at a pretty high level. I'd say number 7 overall is pretty good. Now this one, we're getting towards the end of the list, so it's kind of hard to like move people around based off what I said before already. But this one, number 6, Dak Prescott. I've never been impressed by Dak. I've always felt that Dak is kind of maybe the one thing holding the Cowboys back. I've never ever seen Dak Prescott and been like, wow, this guy is just so good. This is the year that he takes this team to the Super Bowl. I'm not I'm not high on him at all. Number 5, Justin Herbert. Yeah, I'll give Herbert. I'll give Jay Herbo. Number 5. I'll give him that. I've always thought he was a little overrated, but the guy's resilient. He kind of reminds me of Andrew Luck in a sort of sense. I mean, he's just a guy you like to watch play. Seems like a good guy. He's tough, great arm. He does what he can with what he has. So yeah, number 5, Justin Herbert. Number 4, Josh Allen. That's fair. Okay, we'll give him that. My only gripe with Josh Allen is when it comes to the postseason, he can't perform. And okay, whatever. I've gotten to countless arguments that well, his defense gave up 30 something points. I don't care. I understand he doesn't play defense either, but there's been times where you've needed him to make a pass or needed him to show up at a certain point of a game and he doesn't. I'm calling Josh Allen the modern day Dan Marino. That's my take on Josh Allen. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Number 3, Joe
Wow.
Burrow. I'll give him that. Yeah, I'll give Joe Burrow that. If he could continue to play at the high level that he was playing at. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Honestly, going based off last season, if we're going based off last season, I'm putting Lamar Jackson at number 1 because Lamar Jackson just won the MVP. He's 2-time MVP now. That guy's electric. You call him a running back, you can call him a running QB or whatever. Again, running back, running QB, synonymous. whatever. That guy can also sling it. He's shown that. He had over 4,000 passing yards last season. So you can shove that running back statement right up there. Number one, this is just glazing, putting him at number one. Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Again, no one gets glazed harder in this league than Patrick Mahomes. They've moved on to a newer model. They've moved on from Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes. Chris Collinsworth is now on this guy's meat. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers, you're old. Wants fresh meat. So yeah,
Mm.
that's my
I
list.
feel like you kind of got to put him at number one,
Why?
just being that they won 2 Super Bowls in a row.
Okay, that's fine. He's not the only guy on the team.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, we could also go based off the conspiracy that they were forced there for a certain someone, but whatever. We won't feed that fire. Not saying I agree with that conspiracy, but she did bring a lot of money into the league. Let's say that. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, maybe it is rigged.
That's what I've heard from a certain someone. Just saying. But yeah, unless you got any more, I'd say that we could wrap it up.
So I got one more thing.
Sure.
Did you see that UConn's coach Dan Hurley turned down a coaching offer from the Lakers?
Yeah, I did see
So he
that.
turned down 70 million for a 6-year deal. I don't know. I'm totally with him on this. I wouldn't want to coach professional. Probably. I got to think he's making more than that coaching UConn. He's won 2 fucking titles in a row.
Um, let's find out.
Of
I
course,
would.
maybe not. Maybe coaches don't make as much now that NIL deals are a thing.
Um, yeah, I don't know. He's okay. So he signed an extension back in June of last year, 6 years, 32.1 mil. So yeah, he would
Man,
have.
that's it.
I mean, that's it. I give me 32.1 mil, and you won't hear from me ever again.
I mean, I guess he isn't
He's still making money.
as big as like Mike Krzyzewski, but I did a report back in my college days on why college athletes should be paid, and I remember one of my talking points was that Mike Krzyzewski, Duke's old coach,
Yeah.
made like 40 mil a year or something ridiculous, just because they had to put that money somewhere that they were bringing in.
Yeah, I mean, the highest paid employee in our state of Indiana is Purdue's head coach, I believe. Or head football coach,
Yeah,
that
I
is.
think that's most states.
Because, yeah, like you said, how much money these schools generate off of sports is astronomical. It's ridiculous. TV deals, brand deals, ticket sales, concession sales. Granted, you're also paying, when it comes to that, you're paying people who work at the stadium. But let's
Yeah,
just,
but you think they're making
so much money.
as much as they charge for that stuff?
Yeah.
Hell no, not a chance.
I also think maybe this also played a factor in Hurley's decision was, would you want to be micromanaged by LeBron? Going to LA,
Yeah,
taking that
that's
job.
kind of that's one of my main things for not wanting to coach pro over college. I think college kids would probably, they're granted they're getting money now, but they're still not as likely to, I don't know, bitch and moan about things. You could still tell them to go run sprints or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the pool that, again, like a guy like LeBron's gonna have.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Oh, I guess we could touch on this last thing. Last thing. I just want your opinion. I know who I have taking it. NBA Finals. Just give me Dallas Mavericks, Boston Celtics. I know you're not a big basketball guy, but just tell me who do you think's gonna win?
Celtics.
Okay. Yeah, Celtics are up 2-0. I think the Celtics are definitely taking it. But the Celtics are gonna take it in 6 because Luka is not gonna get shut out. Say that. So yeah.
6, huh?
Yeah, in 6.
I'll say 5.
All right. I got a wager on 6, so I hope you're wrong.
I think Celtics take game 3, Mavs take 4, and then they fall apart.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you that. That's fair. Yeah. So on that note, unless you got any more, thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.